Alright, so it's round 3, week 4 of season 22. My opponent's still going, but I've already done my attacks. Unfortunately, the counter that I thought would work against Symbiote Annihilus just straight up doesn't work. It actually went worse than last time, so I'm not entirely sure why, but what that meant was the minute I dropped one there, the fight was over. Couldn't clear that room. Plus, not one-shotting on Annihilus and my own Annihilus is just too expensive. So the fact that I don't have a good counter to that just means I'm kind of forced into running that on defense, I guess, now. So I'll have to take Annihilus off of offense because the whole gamble there is that my Annihilus can take out their Annihilus. But if that's not working, then yeah, there's no point in me having it on offense. So after I did that, I tried a bunch of other things in other rooms just so that I can at least test certain things because normally I wouldn't do that. I also think I found a pretty bad bug. But yeah, let's see what worked and what didn't. Okay, so this is stage 1, New Mutants with Shaw. I'll quickly run through this one, but in general, Daring Warriors will always take out New Mutants. There's some variants that can fail, like if you have Mephisto here with them, then you have to bring in like a Black Cat or something to take care of him. But otherwise, Storm will just stun Shaw, so he's not going to do anything. That also gives an early slow out to this entire team. I don't think people are going to be running non-New Mutant variants for much longer unless it's Mephisto. And even then. But yeah, Cannonball goes, doesn't really do too much. The only thing that Shaw changes in this matchup is it forces where Eclipse is going to special, and this is really weird positioning because it means I can silence 3 people if Shaw was in the corner, probably Wolfsbane next to him, so you can leave magic not silenced, then this would be a little bit less efficient, but it wouldn't really change the outcome. Because Thrasher goes, you can see they're already taking a ton of damage. I've got 2 vulnerables on Wolfsbane, and now my Daredevil goes, kills Shaw, kills her as well because he gets to do an ISO with 2 vulnerables, and yeah, pretty straightforward. But either way, most people probably use Accursed here, and just raw Accursed still takes this variant as well. You just need to slow play it a little bit to keep the exposed on Shaw, and then this becomes much cheaper. But there was no Phoenix Force on defense to date, so I just threw this here. And I think this was either the last or second to last room that I did anyway, so they were truly left over. Okay, so if you saw my other video from this week where I tried to do a Brimstone composition into Daring Warriors Blue Marvel, I figured this was a good chance to see if I could even take, the old variants, which are, 2 Diamond Eclipse. Thrasher's usually maybe a little bit bigger, but, generally this is a well-built team pre-leaderboard. So I was just curious to see, like, am I being crazy? Should I have been Brimstoning these? And the answer is maybe, but also I canceled this even though it was going to win. I just wanted to try some more stuff on this to see what I could get away with. So this was just a cancel just to test more, but you'll see what happens. So yeah, Iron Patriot and Guardian is the maximum damage you can bring against this team. Didn't hit Eclipse, which is actually generally bad because she's kind of squishy at 2 diamonds. Either way, you still get the double tap off of the non-Daring Warriors person. And in this case, I did kill Thrasher, almost killed this guy as well. But yeah, I think if she had been hit by Yo-Yo, she would have died and this would have been super clean. But, anytime Eclipse and a few members don't die, Brimstone, you've kind of run out of damage. So yeah, because this will rebalance, and obviously you have a lot of like random support casts that can't survive. So Eclipse Special already killed Iron Patriot. Then Daredevil gets to go, does a whole bunch of bad things. Speedball is really bad when he survives because he gives them immunity, speed up, and all that stuff. Strange did survive with offense up, so I did the ultimate. Boop. So luckily that kills her. I think that's because too many members had died, so it didn't get blocked. Actually, can this be blocked in the first place? I haven't hit one of these in a very long time. No, so this can be blocked, but I think it just didn't because too many Daring Warriors members had died. And then Damon gets to use a special. Lost a little bit more efficiency because of targeting. If he had targeted over here, he wouldn't have killed anyone, but he killed Yo-Yo. And then I took it to here and then basically said, I'm done. Do I want to test more? I said, fuck it, let's just go test. So yeah, cancel this one. But either way, this is like terribly inefficient, and I just absolutely will not work with the leaderboard payout. So there's no world in which I can ever really brimstone a Damon comp. Maybe if this guy was 5 diamonds, that would change something, but he's not. So yeah, this is basically off the table for me. So going straight into the follow-up. So we kind of already know this works, but what I wanted to see is if I could afford to not bring Quasar. Generally want Quasar here because he will put immunity out, which means no silence, which means no blind from Eclipse. Because yeah, the problem with Eclipse going is that she now has her one of the moons out that blinds everything, and Blastar stuff, for example, is not unavoidable. Thunderstrike, you can give him immunity from Blastar. So this is basically how critical is Blastar's damage to this equation, because he's the only one that is going to miss, basically. So Jeff goes, does good stuff. Also, Thunderstrike Blastar means they don't get offense up. So that's pretty good for extra damage. You can see like Jeff already did some good stuff. Then Eclipse does go. She hurts quite a bit, and you know, with a few more diamonds, basically this will reset them all to be at full health. Pretty sure this guy would have been dead, so I'm not sure if better positioning would help here. Honestly, I'd rather Jeff die. If someone has to die, it's best to be Jeff at this point because he's done what he needs to do. Then Blade, I put him down the middle. I was just trying to see if I needed to focus or if I could just maximize damage on everyone, and you know, speed while dying here is never a bad thing. Then Gwen does her special, which it can be blocked, but the reason why she's good is she does pre-taunt, and you can kind of focus where Eclipse's special will go. And she has evade, so she doesn't get blinded, so she's just some good damage and protection for the team. Now this is the problem. So Blastar, if you look at his special, I went the wrong way as usual. So special is not unavoidable, so he's not going to do anything other than he's going to gain safeguard, he's going to heal up if he's taken damage, he's not going to apply trauma, or he's not going to apply ability block, but he will barrier everyone and he will give all allies to immunity. So this is kind of what I was testing. I'm like, do I really need his damage? Actually, one sec. This attack can be blocked, right? It can be blocked, but it steals 10% max health, and you cannot block that. So he will still do good damage on the clump. So, you know, Quasar instead of Gwen is probably the play, but that assumes your team can afford to eat an Eclipse special from a large Eclipse, which she hits really hard, so I'm not sure if that's the play. It might be remove Blade, because he does a similar thing, but Blastar is kind of more important here. So anyway, I do the special here. It does nothing because he's blinded, but now my entire team has immunity. Then Thunderstrike special. Again, I just kind of went down the middle. And yeah, 2 characters died. I don't know that that's enough damage, though, against a diamond payout team again. So does this work? Yes. I don't know that I would trust it against a 5 diamond Eclipse, unless your team can afford to eat 1 attack from Eclipse at 5 diamonds and not die. If that happens, then you're fine. But if you're at risk of losing someone and you have to bring in Gwen, then this gets way iffier. But it's an option. It also depends who the 5th is. In this case, it wasn't really anyone that mattered, but you never know. So yeah, this worked. I didn't cancel this one because I was kind of tired at this point. So does it work? Yes. But him being blinded is kind of a big deal because they don't lose that 10% health on everyone. So yeah, if I have to do this again, I'd probably try the Quasar version. I probably should have canceled this one, but actually, no, it doesn't make sense. I know my team can survive a 2 diamond Eclipse hitting anywhere. It's the 5 diamonds that I'm worried about. So maybe we'll find out next time, but stay tuned. Alright, stage 3. So this here was just an attempt to see if I could like super cheap out on a counter versus this. I was curious to see how far it would get, but there's a couple things that make this fail, and also the fact that his Illuminati are all 5 diamond. G21 is definitely not helping. No comment on that any further, I guess, but anyway, let's go in and see the fight itself and why it mechanically fails. But there's also some stat checking going on that causes that. So Mephisto's going to go first, but because I have immunity from Quasar, I'm going to avoid all the debuffs, but they still get all their buffs, and I still get exhausted, which is a pretty big deal. Now, Black Panther will always hit Green Goblin. I did not expect him to die, though, but with her being 5 diamonds and offense up and G21, he just can't take that damage. Mine is just, what is he? G20 and a half and 3 diamond, just normal, so yeah, he can take that damage even with the defense up. So this is already a problem, and the biggest problem is, and this took me a sec to figure out what was going on, is in her passive, if she actually kills someone, she clears 2 random positive effects from all enemies. So my immunities are now gone, and that is a very big problem, because that's the only way I get to keep my immunities if I have Safeguard. So the fact that this is removed before I get Safeguard is going to be catastrophic, because now Hank and Captain Britain can just ability block my entire team. But I mean, a lot goes wrong here. I didn't land the ability block on Mephisto, so if he gets his ultimate, he's just going to destroy everyone anyway. Because of the exhaust, I have less focus. So yeah, I'm just trying to see basically, can I even get close to killing this Mephisto out of curiosity. Now at this point, you know, I get the offense downs, and with his ultimate, because he's a skirmisher in this room, everyone gets ability block. So yeah, that Shuri kill basically sealed the deal. Otherwise, here I would not have offense down, I would not have ability block, but you know, it's super over. Because yeah, this ability block wouldn't have mattered either, because I would have immunity. And let's see, so yeah, I'm going all in on Mephisto at this point, again, just to see how close I can get. He goes into stealth, which is super problematic because my Hobgoblin is not really going to chain his way, so I don't think this would have worked in any shape or form, but I'm only doing basics at this point, so not going very well. So yeah, I think in the next, I cancel this very quickly because it's not going to do anything. Even Shuri just kills everyone here. So yeah, cancel this one. Didn't really expect it to work, but I was curious to see how that would go. And it does not go well at all. Yeah, looks like he dropped 1, which is kind of expected. So anyway. Stage 3 again. So yeah, I mean, the other option was basically, you know, bring Sentry in here and trivialize this. The whole reason why was I did not want to use Sentry here, because Sentry generally kind of eats Daring Warriors alive, but I was trying to figure out, can I spare Sentry for something else? The answer is sort of. So, you know, Quasar over here probably means that I can afford to use Sentry here, and you'll see this one goes extremely smoothly, because none of the things that Mephisto does at the start happen. So here I won the coin flip against Shuri. So getting a little bit of revenge on her, ability block her. Goes all the way down. It's kind of funny that Mephisto ends up being the lowest health here, because I beat into her, but he somehow ends up the lowest health. Anyway, probably the barrier. Then she gets to go. She's a raider, so she removes the ability block anyway, so I probably should have done someone else here, but again, this match didn't matter at this point, so I was just messing around. Going into Hank, he just evaporates. Green Goblin goes. He also gets to rewind, well, I guess he doesn't rewind anyone because of Captain Britain, but he gets to flip everything and put trauma because there's no Mephisto BFE out. And we use the Vulture Special. I could have made them strikers to get more striker skirm combo, but again, I'm not trying to min-max this fight. I'm just trying to see mechanically how well will it go, and the answer is yeah. If I'd done striker skirm combos with Sentry, this fight probably would have taken 1 or 2 less attacks. So you know, a little bit more efficient, but not the end of the world. So yeah, this defense is fairly trivial. It does cost you Sentry, so it kind of depends if you need him for somewhere else. But yeah, otherwise this works pretty well. All right, moving on to stage 4. I did this one last. I had way better things to bring in here, but I was curious because I usually have Black Knight on offense, but I have him on defense today for reasons. So I was just curious, like, how bad does it get without Black Knight? And the answer is you lose a ton of efficiency because he gets to his ultimate, and Super Skull will always die before that point because of Black Knight. So he does a lot of heavy lifting. Clearly it still works, but normally this defense is trivial, and without Black Knight it gets way more inefficient. So otherwise it plays out mostly the same as you'd expect. So, Super Skull goes, gives Dakin a bunch of turn meter, also gives Old Man Logan some turn meter, and then Dakin gets the assist for Old Man Logan, some more turn meter. Then I stun Lady Bullseye. This is a bad chain from Old Man Logan, so, I still want Lady Bullseye to be stunned because she's the other reason why I might lose this fight, but, if she's in a different spot and it could chain differently, then that would be better, but it is what it is. So usually here is where Super Skull is dead. And if not from this, then the follow-up attack from the next person kills him. So the fact that he's alive is, kind of a problem still. The rest of the team is still not something I'm concerned with. I was kind of hoping I could punch Super Skrull, but I didn't focus on pushing him before, so I know this wasn't going to kill him, but I was kind of like, well, I should probably start working on him because this is not going to go well for me otherwise. Could have killed anyone else here, but, whatever. But yeah, he gets to do his ultimate, kills Apocalypse, does some damage, but I'm not at risk of really losing this because it also gives Old Man Logan some turn meter, and we get to do this. Such a good character. But yeah, everyone else is just peppered with debuffs. Super Skrull gets to get to his special again, gives me some more turn meter on Old Man Logan. Let's see, what else? Yeah, everyone else is doing kind of basics and bleeding out because of all the damage I've done so far. Them being barely alive is also costing some efficiency because Mummy died, but, again, normally my team is a lot healthier and the damage is distributed in a different way where they take maybe one turn, but they generally just die ahead of time. So, yeah, this is kind of a... I know there's cheap counters to this already. I wanted to see, like, how cheap can you get? Do I want to put Black Knight on defense? Because people still run this room, and it's very good for this. But overall, I didn't learn too much here, so yeah, let's move on. Alright, stage 5. So things get very weird here because this fight is not working the way it should. So I was curious to see if... Blue Marvel is obviously a wrinkle here, and I have yet to see anyone one-shot this with something that isn't Annihilus. So I was curious to see how this will play out with extra health. The answer is it plays out very differently, but it also is not playing out properly, so Mephisto should not be going first here. So that's a problem because... Morph. If he has 3 Exalted X-Men, cannot have their speed increased except by positive effects. So this used to stop Mephisto, now it's not. The only thing I can think of is that when they fixed the specials, something got reverted. I don't know, but Mephisto should not be going ahead of this team ever. So that throws everything off. So anyway, I do this. Assist her on the table because Wolverine isn't here. So then I do another basic, mostly because I want to remove the offense up. And so the good thing with Alondra is that she gives Blue Marvel an offense down, which, neuters a lot of its damage. Plus the death boosts from Mephisto are actually doing a ton of work here, because like you can see, even a what is it, 4 diamond, what is he? Yeah, 4 diamond G20 and a half Captain Britain survived a 3 diamond Captain Britain, Blue Marvel, which normally doesn't happen. But yeah, the extra health from Mephisto plus the death proofs from his passive and the offense down from Lilandra do a lot of heavy lifting. The problem with this though is Captain Britain gets a ton of focus, but only if he's above 50% health. So Blue Marvel basically means he's no longer the target for Morph, and the next highest focus is Lilandra. And if Lilandra dies, you're screwed. So actually, let's check something here, because I just realized something. Gladiator Lilandra. So her focus is 228, 369. What is your focus? So, maybe something to try next time, but I think if you make Mephisto a skirmisher, he will pull the Morph special, which means Lilandra will survive, because all you need is Gladiator and Lilandra to survive before Storm goes, and even if Storm kills Lilandra, it doesn't matter. So here, the Morph special plus the assist killed my Lilandra. So at this point, Storm is free to put out Exposed, and the minute Exposed is out on the field, you no longer can apply battlefield effects. So that is pretty not great. So I just do this for shits and giggles, because I'm like, well, if one thing isn't working, maybe they broke the BFE, but they did not. So anyway, at this point, there's no real point in attacking. I do get assists from Odin. I should have specialed, but there's no way this team is killing all of them. So I kind of just did one more attack. I did not even stun Blue Marvel. Yeah, not having the focus hurts a lot. So yeah, Jubilee does an attack, and then I just cancel this because I'm like, you know what? Let me just go try something else. So I leave the fight. The second one worked, but in a very unreliable way, so I would not recommend this. But let's see. Okay, so yeah, here I'm just still confused, like, why is Mephisto going fast? This should not be working this way. So anyway, kind of the same thing as before. I figured I'll remove the offense up from Storm, because Morph is gonna basically do whatever he does to Captain Britain no matter what, and it doesn't really matter if he has the offense up. So again, the offense down from Lilandra. Now the only reason why this works this time is because I did not get immunity, or sorry, I did not get disrupt from Blue Marvel. So the offense down pulled his resistance low enough where a bunch of people actually resisted the flip, which is really good. Morph will then do exactly what he did before. She still didn't die, but I got a death proof and stealth. So, Mephisto still kind of makes sure she stays alive. Now, Storm goes, even if my Lilandra dies here, it doesn't matter, because her ability, the way it works is it applies Exposed and then kills everyone. So as long as Lilandra's alive on her turn, you're fine. So she just needs to survive the opening barrage. But otherwise, I've gotten assists already, so again, the fight is over. So I'm not gonna play this out because this video is gonna get too long, I guess. But let's go and check if Mephisto Skirmisher is actually the play here. So Lilandra is, and I also had her as a fortifier. So, whoops, sorry, I don't want to go in here. So her focus is 217,494. And what is Mephisto? Do I even have him as a skirmisher? I sort of do. Alright, yes, so that is a very interesting finding. So maybe next time I see this team, I just need to do exactly what I did here, which was, yeah, Mephisto, Lilandra, Captain Britain, Gladiator, and Odin, but he needs to be a skirmisher. and that will eat the morph special, so Lilandra is probably guaranteed to survive. So yeah, this might be a one-shot for next time, which sucks because I think I just solved my own defense, but it's fine. But also my Lilandra's 5 diamond, so she can take a beating, which I guess is kind of irrelevant as long as Mephisto is pulling this. So yeah, we learned something here, which is cool. Moving on. And finally, room 6, where it kind of all went wrong. This is the first one I tried as well, because I wasn't sure if this would still work. Clearly didn't, so that's why I went off and did a bunch of science elsewhere. So yeah, round 1, the only difference that I had, well, there was 2 things that were different. Or this guy was a raider in round 1, and that ended up with some bad RNG with no vulnerables and Annihilus. So I made him a skirmisher, which kind of means less damage, but at least you're guaranteed 2 vulnerables. And I did not special with this guy, I basicked instead to get Annihilus low. However, as you can see, it didn't do anything. So a little surprised that it went this much worse. There's also a lot of targeting RNG, and I think last time, because of the positioning, or not positioning, but last time I used Professor X special, which did nothing to Annihilus, but debuffed other people, so I survived longer. So, but either way, this attack is neither safe nor worth doing, so we're never doing it again. And this is why I'm probably just gonna have to put this on defense until I can figure out a better way of beating it. But yeah, so we do the breaker special. Still does good damage, but usually he goes into the yellow, and this time he didn't get even close. But we have our 2 vulnerables. Then he does his basic. Hitting Darkstar kind of sucks a little, but you know, there's pure RNG here. Now I do the special onto Annihilus to get the guaranteed ISO shot into him. So far so good. You know, we've gotten him into guaranteed yellow. The problem is this Riot though is still alive, and it's pure RNG where he goes and how he chains. So if he goes there, he does a lot of damage. Like Darkstar at this point is basically, well, she's literally dead. My Shadow King is semi-healthy, but not getting to do his ultimate is unfortunate, because these people in yellow are basically guaranteed to die at this point. I still have 1 vulnerable, and I do the Professor X basic, hoping I can get him kind of low, but this also does nothing. Like, cool, I did some damage to him, he immediately just heals it back up. So sure, this lets me go into Annihilus fast, but otherwise he doesn't do anything. There's no mind controls, the special's cool and all, but does no damage, so as we already know, that doesn't help. He does good damage with his basic, but it's immediately healed up again. So this, not only does it not work, it's just too expensive as well. So if this was a one-shot, cool, but it's not even close. So there's no world where I can keep trying to make this work. It's just costing me rounds at this point. So yeah. Anyway, Annihilus gets back to special. I think, yeah, I lose my rod here, and I have a ton of permanent damage that's happened to me. And at this point, basically, the fight is over. I don't even get to use my ultimate. If I had used my ultimate, then I think I could have killed a couple of people, but I didn't even get around to that. So, oh, and the other problem is because Thanos is alive, like, everyone here has just been getting energy from all these kills. So, you know, terrible first attack, and also not a good way to sack. Because, I mean, as you already know, for Insidious 6 to work, these guys need to not really have their abilities. So, you know, for this to work, I would have had to do like an IMX sack first and then come in, but it doesn't. I'm not going to show this one because it's just failure. But I did at least get to test something here, because in theory, Blastar can get ahead of this guy, because he will be getting more speed bar than he will reflexively. So I was curious to see, like, can Blastar do something? It's actually an interesting result, even though it doesn't work, because the answer is yes, you can get ahead of Annihilus. So, but also this does not scale at all. So that is one reflexive basic from Annihilus, and he's only 1 diamond, right? 1 diamond is such a big difference, though, dude. So yeah, he's 1 diamond, and he basically one-shots Kahori. Luckily, Mephisto's here for the death proof. So cool, we do our first attack into him, it's fine. Lose the death proof, but still alive. Do one attack into this guy. So I've gotten 2 bomb bursts. I don't know why the Devourer gets ahead of me. I guess they spawn in with a bunch of speed. Yeah, they do spawn in with a bunch of speed stats. So unfortunately, this happens. So can't really avoid that, I guess. But anyway, it's fine if he dies. So then Mephisto also gets to take 1 turn ahead of Annihilus because he's just that fast. So we do a basic to get another bomb burst. It's unfortunate that the Athene has taunt. Now we got to 4 because of the darkness, and but see here, like he almost one-shot my Blastar as well, which is insane, right? So if this guy is more than 1 diamond, then no, this just straight up doesn't work. But anyway, my options here are to throw the ultimate, rip it and hope it works. Or I could have used the special here to ability block him, and that would have worked to not get an ultimate to the face, but, these 2 are not going to kill everyone else. So I figured let's just see what an offense of 4 bombers with darkness does. And the answer is it does good damage, but not enough. If that was 5 bombers, then maybe. He's also a striker because you can't crit with Venom or with these 3, I guess. So yeah, and then at this point you lose, so I canceled it. But either way, yeah, I don't know if this will be useful, but Kahori, Mephisto, Blastar Thunderstrike does get ahead of Annihilus. The problem is it will not work for anything above 1 diamond on Annihilus, and it kind of felt like it barely worked this time, so not sure I can do anything with that information, but again, we learned something. So either way, that was it. This video is probably way too long now, just going over everything, but yeah, unfortunately 0-3 this week. It's been a weird week overall, so hopefully next time will be better, but yeah, I'm going to have to redo my entire defense now, so at least things will be different next week. We also have Toxin coming out, so this room is probably about to get even weirder. So yeah, we'll see if that drastically changes the meta, and see you next time.